we are going to create a blackjack card counting function. So how card counting works, at least how this function is going to work, is that when you see a low card, the count goes up, and when you see a high card, the count goes down, and if it's a middle value card, the count stays the same. And then when the count is positive, the player should bet high. And when the count is 0 or negative, the player should bet low. So we are going to use a switch statement to figure out what card has been passed in and what to do about it. You can see that the function looks like this: CC, and we pass in a card, and depending on what the card is, it's going to increase this global count variable, or it's going to decrease it, or it's going to stay the same. And then we are going to return two things. We're not going to return change me. We are going to return the current count value and whether the player should hold or bet. So every time you call the CC function, it's going to change this count value and return the total count. So let's see how this is going to work. We are going to use the switch statement, like I said, and we're going to check the card value that was passed in. So if the case is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we are going to increment the count variable. So we're going to do it like this: case 2. I'm going to do some copying and pasting. If the case is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we'll just have to actually change these values. 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, there are many ways to write any program. This could be done with if statements and else statements. It could be even done with other ways that we haven't even talked about yet. As long as the program works, in this case, that's all that matters. So if you find a different way to write this program, that's great. So if the case is 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, we are going to take the count value, and if we just do plus plus, that increments it by 1, and then we're going to break. Now, if the case is 7, 8, 9, so let's paste in 3 of these. We'll do 7, 8, 9. Actually, we're going to do nothing. The count is not going to change at all. So we don't even need case 7 or 8, 9. So instead of doing 7, 8, 9, we just need to check in the case that something's actually going to happen. So we are going to decrement the count variable if we have 10, jack, queen, king, or ace. So that's what we're going to change this to: 10, jack, queen, king, or ace. In this case, we're going to decrement the count. So you can do count minus minus. So that's the same as count equals count minus 1. And then we will break. Now we've taken care of the count and updating the count. Now we have to take care of what we're going to return. We are going to return the count, and we're also going to return whether we are going to hold or bet. So we're going to actually return a variable, but first there's going to be a space. There's a space between the number, and then we're going to return the hold bet variable. Now this is a variable we haven't created yet. Normally this would be the perfect time to use the ternary operator, but we haven't learned that yet, and we're not going to learn that for a few more lessons, so I won't use that now. We are going to set what that hold bet value is. First, we'll create the hold bet variable hold bet, and we'll set it to hold. However, if count is more than 0, then we can set hold bet to equal bet. So now this should work. Let's test it out and see if we've made any mistakes yet. Hold bet is not defined. Well, you have it right here. We spelled that wrong. So instead of Holt bet, that should be hold bet. Okay, in this case, we're going to bet because we had a bunch of positive numbers and then negative numbers. But if we change this to K, and we change this to 10, let's see what happens. Now we're going to hold. Okay, it worked.